After all this time, a decade since Pikmin 3 launched on the Wii U, God knows how long since Miyamoto said the game was very close to completion, Pikmin 4 is finally here. Well, it's been here for about a month, but it takes a while to make these, okay? I've been really enjoying the game. So much so that I feel the game needs more than just an initial first impression. Usually I play the game for a few hours or so, then make a video showing my initial thoughts, but for Pikmin 4, I felt that just wasn't enough. I felt like I needed to keep playing and really dive a bit deeper into what this game is all about, and get into why I and many others are really happy with the game. And also because I didn't want to stop playing it. It's super fun! I didn't think I would love this game as much as I did and be really into a game like this. But here we are, I'm seriously into it. I may even be enjoying it more than I enjoy Tears of the Kingdom. Oh, hold on, don't grab your torches and pitchforks yet. I still hugely adore both games. Just Pikmin 4 was much more of a surprise for me. I dabbled in the Pikmin franchise, sure, but to think 4 would be one of my favorite games of this year, possibly in my top 5? I somehow didn't think that, but I'm glad I was proven wrong. The gameplay, the stunning visuals, the story. Yes, there's a story in Pikmin 4, and it's not just go out there and pay off your debt and collect treasure. It's more than that. But I'm getting way ahead of myself. I know a lot of people are giving Pikmin 4 a chance, but just in case you're still on the fence, maybe this random bystander here can guide you on why you should make this excellent purchase. And with that, let's talk about Pikmin 4. Pikmin 4 starts with this incredible opening of Olimar being crashed onto the unknown planet, and finding Pikmin. Pretty basic stuff if you played the first game, but if not, it will catch you up. Only there's a weird dog-like creature this time. Weird. Either way, he releases a distress signal, and that gets the attention of the rescue corps, who make their way to the planet to rescue Olimar. Until they crash as well, and they need to be the ones rescued. Is it really that hard to drive a spaceship? That's where you come in. You and your created character make your way to PNF 404. This is the first Pikmin game where you get to customize your character, and it's a really cool feature that gives you a lot of options. I went with this cute, adorable creature, let's go with that. But not just because of how he looks, but also because of how he runs. Look at him go! You start your rescue mission, where you meet the adorable and marketable Ochi. A few of the Rescue Corps members, including Colin Mockery over here.
As of right now, I'm rash-free.
And of course, the Pikmin. Although it takes a decent amount of time for you to actually get to them. In fact, the story itself, especially in the beginning, takes up a lot of the game. Almost too much of it with the dialogue. I know people complain there was a lot of dialogue, and yeah, they are right. The tutorials can be a real drag. But I don't know, it was cool to see an actual story unfold in the Pikmin universe. Most of the story in past Pikmin games were just journal logs or cutscenes in the beginning and end of the game, nothing else. 3 did a little bit more, but still nothing as in-depth as 4 goes. I don't know, I kinda like it. You get actual characterization from the adventurous but insecure captain, to the know-it-all Colin, to others like Dingo, who is secretly a dirty coward and a degenerate, basically the Louis of the game, and Russ, who I gave a Denzel Crocker voice, and it honestly kind of fits. Ahem! Allow me to introduce myself again. I'm Russ, the resident brains in this Rescue Corps operation. Shut up, Colin! I've only beaten the main story, not the full game, but it's still the most in-depth Pikmin has ever been with story. They really have gone all out with the logs, the world building, and the way people are trapped here and all the castaways you meet, and their stories. Oh yeah, that's one of the goals of this game too. Along with rescuing Captain Olimar and the rescue squad, other people made their way to the planet thanks to good old Olimar's signal. And now we have to rescue them too, all while collecting treasures that have Sparklium. I hate that name, to restore energy to the ship. Needless to say, the stakes are high as you have to rescue everyone all while growing Pikmin and making sure they all stay alive. It's up to you, your Pikmin, and your adorable dog Pikmin thing, Ochi. Speaking of, let's talk about them, shall we? With Pikmin 4, you have your Pikmin. Whoa, oh my god, who would have guessed? And you use them to carry items to your ship, reproduce and grow more Pikmin, going into caves, and rescuing castaways. It's very similar to the previous games, but super refined in quality of life features. For example, Pikmin won't run into water anymore! What are you doing? But seriously, the huge leap of quality with the AI of the Pikmin, combined with the intuitiveness of the controls, really makes this the most polished game in the franchise. It is now effortless to target your Pikmin to an enemy or a treasure, especially with the lock-on the pointer. They will also make sure to avoid obstacles that can harm them, most of the time, and one of my favorite little things, if you accidentally use your whistle to summon a Pikmin who's carrying something, they won't immediately go to you and let go of the object. They will instead stop and wait for you to whistle them again if you need them to. That is so cool and saves me so much trouble when it comes to accidentally whistling my Pikmin. God, Pikmin has come so far! You also get every single Pikmin type in this game. Red Pikmin, blue Pikmin, yellow Pikmin, purple Pikmin, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson Pikmin, scary-eyed horror white Pikmin, Barbie Pikmin.
Beach both of us off. Nobody's gonna beach anyone off.
You even get new Pikmin like the Ice Pikmin, which have the power to freeze enemies, obstacles, and even huge bodies of water, along with Glow Pikmin, which we'll get to later. While these Pikmin are a lot better and smarter than they were in the past, there are new limits as well, such as the fact that you can only have 3 Pikmin types at a time. So you have to be more selective with the Pikmin you bring with you. Not only that, but you only start with about 20 to Pikmin max onto the field, and you must rely on collecting onions to increase the amount of Pikmin that you could have in your ultimate plant army. While people may find these limitations a bit forced, I think they balance the game quite nicely. If we had all 9 Pikmin types with about 100 in our squad, that would make the game unbalanced and honestly a bit broken. It really does help out with the level design and make it so certain Pikmin help out with certain areas. And speaking of areas, these locations are gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I don't think I've seen all of them yet, but they are just absolutely breathtaking locations. I was taken aback by just how good the title screen looked. It reminded me of a nature documentary, or even something I would see in a Pixar film. These locations just look so colorful. And more importantly, it's so much fun to explore around and search for items. See what treasures are around. And the things you collect are abound for sure. You have the treasure around, which you can use to collect Sparklium, still dumb name, along with the onions mentioned before. You can also find these gem materials scattered all over the level, which, when used, can make clay for bridges, faucets, and other materials. All this to say, there is a lot to find in these worlds in the field. And as always, you want to be as efficient as you can with your Pikmin. Oh, and let's not forget about the most important addition to Pikmin 4, literally the mascot of the whole game, Oatchi. Look at this pup! You gotta love him! You have to love him. Love him like the rest of the dogs in these games! He makes exploring with Pikmin a lot more streamlined and easier. Want to carry a bunch of Pikmin through a body of water? Get up on the Oatchi's back! Is there an obstacle in the way? Oatchi can ram right into it and break said obstacle. Or knock down a treasure that's high up on a ledge. Need help carrying something but don't quite have enough Pikmin? Oatchi has you covered. He works as a giant Pikmin, being able to carry, attack, and move around much more efficiently. And I can see why people would say he makes the games a bit too easy compared to the previous games, but I don't know, it opens up a lot of creative solutions and more opportunities to multitask. You only have one captain this time, but if you set it up right, Oatchi can work almost like a second character, switching between them to command Pikmin to do different things. It can really make your day more productive if you know what you're doing. Plus, like the Pikmin, Oatchi's abilities are limited too, and you can upgrade his abilities later. Back to collecting. Along with treasures, weird rocks, onions, and enemy corpses, you need all that to power your army. The most important thing to find are the castaways. Lots of people decided to go to PNF 404 for plant discovery, for tourism, even for internet views. I'm not making the last one up, and it's up to you to rescue all of them, including the rescue squad. We'll get into more about the castaways' specific purpose later, but as to where to find them, you'll have to go spelunking down the caves. Ah, yes, caves. Finally back from Pikmin 2. And previous players of Pikmin 2 will either be happy to see them, or will be having war flashbacks. While I haven't haven't played Pikmin 2 in a long time, I really am enjoying the caves in this one. It's hard to tell, but they seem less randomly generated and more like they have specific level designs in mind. Each cave has specific traps, puzzle mechanics, and ways to get all treasures from point A to point B. They also can have multiple floors, each with their own different surprises. I thought all these caves were fun, they looked aesthetically pleasing to the eye, and were distinctive enough from each other, as a lot of the caves in Pikmin 2 look too much of the same and I couldn't really tell them apart. They don't seem as unforgiving either. Sure, there were some caves that had, a bomb rock drop here and there, but it wasn't nearly as bad as it's been in Pikmin 2. A+ for being more friendly. My favorite part of the caves, however, would have to be the bosses at the end of each cave. They can be really fun with how you fight them and the designs themselves. You do get some bosses that are the Big Wally Hop, which is kind of basic. It's a Big Wally Hop, what more do you want? But you have some cool ones like Arctic Cannon Beetle, Snowflake Fluttertail, the Groovy Longlegs. Now that's what I call dubstep. You even get the return of some bosses from Pikmin 1 and 2, like the Emperor and Empress Bullblacks, the Bread Bug, and even... What's new, Water Wraith? Whoa, whoa, whoa! What's new, Water Wraith? Whoa! Oh my god! Okay, this guy was super terrifying. There's one thing to watch people face the Water Wraith, and then another when he's actually chasing you. It was my first time facing him. I didn't think he'd be in the game, but guess what? He's in the game. But if I'm being honest, it was one of my favorite dungeons so far. It was fast-paced, almost felt like a horror game at times. The adrenaline was certainly high. And if I'm being more honest, he even wasn't that hard to avoid if you knew what you were doing, which I kinda did up to that point. I bet he's a lot harder in Pikmin 2! Imagine the day I finally get to fight him in that. But that's not the only place you find people underground. You find them also in Dandori battles. Dandori battles is basically competitive Pikmin, where you have to gather as much treasure as you can before your opponent does, before the time runs out. You must be quick to figure out what Pikmin you use to grab what treasures, and really strategize your units the best way possible. You can even sabotage your opponent's units too, to give you an advantage. These were really challenging for me to be honest, but still really satisfying when I was able to beat them. It does get to the point where it's a bit chaotic for me, to the point where I can't tell what's going on, and it might have something to do with the split screen. I don't know, it's important to see what your opponent is doing, but I just really wish I had the extra space, especially since it's single player. That's just me. You can really get a good score with practice, and if you get good, with Dandori. Plus, you even have outside elements that can help or hurt you, like bonus points for certain items, or a Mario Kart-like bonus wheel that gives you different items that you can use on you or your opponent. Speaking of your opponent, look at this guy! He's the one that's taking your castaways and turning them into leaflings. I have no idea who he's supposed to be. Do you have any idea? I have no clue, but you have to beat the mysterious leafling in Dandori, and the castaway covered in autumn is yours. I've been talking a lot about these castaways, but what do you really need them for? Why would you even want to rescue them? Why don't you want to save people, you stupid? Well, other than saving lives, you do get incentives for bringing them back to your base. Some, such as the Rescue Corps, are required for the story. You can't advance without them. Others will help you unlock features such as the Treasure and Piclopedia, where you can read descriptions on every treasure you have collected and read about and even fight every enemy you have ever encountered. It's a lot of text, sure, but I really enjoy just reading the different entries from each item you find and creature you defeat. A lot of the castaways you rescue can give you quests as well. It's nothing too crazy, as they often involve challenges like reaching a certain amount of treasures, growing a certain amount of Pikmin, basically doing things you would normally be doing in the game and giving you little achievements for it. It's no Xenoblade level of side quests, but who doesn't love a little bit of incentives for completing tasks? You can also get upgrades here, such as upgrades to your suit and Ochi's collar, bombs to help you deal with enemies, even technology that can make it so idle Pikmin go straight to you, or Pikmin that you can call straight to your base at any point in the day. Really convenient stuff that makes everything easier. Saved me from losing a lot of Pikmin. You also can train Ochi and have him learn and level up his moves, helping him get stronger with carrying things, make his chomping power stronger, all stuff you would expect. I like these upgrades a lot, as they not only make your playthrough easier, but they aren't required either. A lot of times with leveling up skill, you'll automatically get moves and have no say in the matter. If you want to not take advantage of these upgrades, they are completely optional, so your level of difficulty you want can be determined by what you decide to add, upgrades or no upgrades. I upgraded Ochi as much as I could, and trust me, he is a beast once you just even add a couple of his major upgrades. But still, if you want the challenge, I'm glad it's optional. But what about those leaflings? How do you unleafify them? Something tells me a rake isn't going to cut it.
How about hedge clippers? Or half of a hedge clipper. Is this a bolt cutter?
Well, that's where night missions come in. A Pikmin first this game is night missions, where you have to protect these mountains of green glow sap from enemies that are attracted to it. You do this with the help of the new glow Pikmin, Pikmin that are ghost-like, and increase in population by collecting these candy-like objects, that are also the star fragments in Animal Crossing, and the star bits in Mario Galaxy. These candies are really popular with Nintendo, huh? These areas are really fun and remind me a lot of a horror version of Defend the Tower, and I love it. The way the creatures look so creepy, the way you have to be on high alert with one, sometimes multiple glow mounts, and you have to decide how to keep them protected. Do you focus on building your glow Pikmin? Do you work on taking on your enemies ahead of time before they go into a frenzy? Do you pray to God that the day will end somehow just before your glow mount is gone? Sometimes that method works! God, I love these glow Pikmin. They might be my absolute favorite. I just love their design, how cute and creepy they look. They have this attack where a swarm of them can destroy enemies in this weird glow like seconds flat. They are super overpowered, but also, you gotta take your time and use attacks in the most opportune moment. And to make them better, after you complete a night mission, you can even get a certain amount of glow seeds where they can help you out in the caves as well. Really cool. When night days were first introduced, I honestly thought it was going to be like the days in Pikmin, only, well, at night. Like it was gonna be just a color change. I'm just really overall impressed with how they handle the nights of Pikmin 4. They feel fast-paced, scary, and overall a fantastic change of pace from normal Pikmin 4 gameplay. And after God knows how long of explaining all that you can do with Pikmin 4, I hope you understand one of my favorite parts about Pikmin 4, is that you can do so much! I didn't think there would be so much variety in the game, but there's so much to do, and I am adoring the game so much for it. You got the days, finding treasure, caves, finishing side quests, night shifts, finding more jewels, Dandori battles, reading the treasure and Piclopedia, and more. It's so entertaining. I was not kidding when I said this was one of my favorite games of the year. It's one of those games where I want to 100% the areas and beat as much as I can. This is by far my favorite entry in the Pikmin franchise. One that I can see a lot of Nintendo fans getting into. Whether you're a Pikmin veteran or trying to get into the franchise for the first time. Pikmin 4 is such a magnificent game to add to your Switch collection. It can be difficult if you want the challenge, but it's also easy enough to get into for those new to managing their plant friends. And I still didn't mention a lot, like the music, the sound design, how adorable Pikmin are. It really is a fantastic game that while it took 10 years, those 10 years were worth the wait. Even if you never played a Pikmin game before. Play Pikmin 4, please. This franchise and this game deserve all the love it's getting. You won't regret it. And please let them make a Pikmin 5 sometime before 10 years from now. Well, let me tell ya, going from Pikmin 1 to this, such a huge leap in quality, my god. I think I'm gonna take a break from Pikmin before I decide to go check out Pikmin 2, which I haven't touched in a while. But when I do, Pikmin 2 will be next on the agenda. I'm sure that will be fine. What are your thoughts on Pikmin 4? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to hit the like button and stay tuned for more videos. I like to train now.